Well, I mentioned in Copenhagen, but I also mentioned this at the last meeting of the Coalition of the Willing. The Coalition of the Will should become the Coalition of the Bill. When we gathered in Paris at the Élysée, when we were all there, I said, can we also become the Coalition of the Bill? Since Paris and Copenhagen, I could give you the number of phone calls I got from Coalition of the Willing members to say that's a great idea, but it tends to zero. It actually is zero.
So there is no alternative to the using the frozen assets?
There is always an alternative. Maybe there are alternatives possible. We all want to support Ukraine. The Coalition of the Will is there saying we stand with Ukraine, whatever it takes. We've said that many, many, many times. So if we talk, let's be honest, about a financial need, I've read a figure of 45 billion a year to keep Ukraine afloat. That's not a lot of money. Huh? If you look at who is in the Coalition of the Will, 45 billion, it's not the end of the world. Huh? I think the countries who are a member of the Coalition of the Willing, if they are willing to pay the bill, they could easily do so. 45 billion is a lot of money, but if you look who's member of that club, it should be doable. But that it's a question of money, mouth, putting them together. And then you have an alternative solution, which would be legally a lot more solid. Because if you would put that money on the table and you would lend it to Ukraine, the logic could also be that the money that is immobilized could be used as a warrant. If we all think that at the end of the war Putin will never get his money back, then you shouldn't be afraid of lending Ukraine money, because there's a warrant. Of course, a cynical person would ask, who's going to finance the reconstruction then? You can only spend €1 once. That's a question because I'm so nice that I didn't ask today. If you take all the Euroclear money, and you've always said this will be used to reconstruct Ukraine, if you use it all for the war ends, you have €0 left for the reconstruction of Ukraine. And who's going to pay for that? On whose door is Ukraine going to knock to say, help us please for the reconstruction of our country? It will not be Putin, because he said, I already, j'ai déjà donné, I already lost my assets. It will be us again. And you can only spend the euro once. If you do it now, then you don't have it at the moment where you could legally use it, and where immobilized assets have been used before in history, and where you have legal ground beneath your feet to do it. So I would prefer an alternative solution, but again, I'm only poor little Belgium. The only thing I can do is point out where the problems are and to gently ask solutions for the essential problems. I didn't even mention all this, just the essential problems. I think we're on the front row now, so thank you for your patience.